One of the cool things about Jesus is that he has an incredible trust in God, his Father, to take care of him. And he admonishes us to do the same thing. Listen to this. This is Jesus. Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth where moth and rust destroy and where thieves break in and steal. Jesus is saying that when you and I spend our money in such a way that we're buying stuff and things, even trying to store up treasure, that it doesn't really work because there are things like moss and rust that destroys those things. So we may work really hard to have nice things, and but there's always a way that it deteriorates. Those things deteriorate and they don't last. And he says, instead, lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven where moth and rust do not destroy and where thieves don't break in and steal. So, though I think it is wise to be like the ant and to save and prepare for the future, it's loving to not make other people have to take care of you in your old age. But there is a danger that we would try to spend the money that God enables us to make mostly on ourselves. And one of the things that's recession proof and thief proof and rust proof and everything else proof is generous giving that exalts Christ and furthers the kingdom of God. So I want to encourage you this year to give generously to the Lord's work and to not be afraid to do that and to do it as recession proof giving. God is a gracious God, and He is present to see what you're doing with the money that He enables you to make. And you won't be able to outgive God. If you're generous, trying to spread the gospel around the world and in pace, God is going to meet your needs. He is able to take care of you, and it is a sign that you believe in Him and that you trust Him when you give generously. I think about it this way. I think if in the old covenant that those saints tithed and gave more than a tithe of their money to build a physical temple and to worship God and to provide for the priests that served in that temple. And if they gave 10% of their income with what they knew, with what was revealed about God and what they knew about the kingdom of God and what they knew about salvation and the goodness of God, then how much more should you and I give generously? I think 10% is a good marker. If they gave 10% of their income, then you and I in the new covenant, being saved by grace with the eternity promised to us with Christ forever, and Him promising to take care of us and to comfort us in all things, how much more should we approach 10% and go over 10% in our giving? So I want to challenge you this year: give generously, give till it hurts, and let's spread the gospel. Listen, one of the reasons that the church at large, not just Redeemer Church, though it impacts us, but one of the reasons the church in America and the church around the world is not doing a better job of spreading the gospel in places where it hasn't been heard. And one of the reasons that some of the things, even locally, that we could do are hindered because we don't have the resources for it. It's just simply because God's people are not being as generous with their giving as they need to. So I thought last year at Redeemer we did a pretty good job. We gave over $150,000. I was pleased with that. That was a goal that I had in my mind for no apparent reason, and we met that. But I want to challenge you, even with the people that have left and moved on because of obligations with the military and other things, I want to challenge you to be faithful with your giving. God is not going to evaluate us by what other people gave. It's I want you to evaluate your own heart and your own finances, and the question is how generous are you being with the money that the Lord has enabled you to make? Let's be generous this year. Let's give. Let's outgive what we gave last year, and let's be zealous in spreading the gospel. Blessings.